let's shift gears here just a little bit because I want to talk about responsible advocacy here a little bit because this is one of the things that keep our journey here with Life Farm safe. And Dr. Steve, you've got, having been in the pharmaceutical industry, you really understand, what the FDA, what we can and can't do. Mm-hmm. And the reason that Javier is on stage today is because he's our compliance, he's the head of compliance, and he needs to sometimes reel it in for people when we start to say a little bit too much or we put out an email that talks about all the wonderful things that we just cured by recommending this to somebody else. So, this curative and mitigation and treatment type of language is something that we really have to just eliminate. And so what I'd like to do is for Javier, for you just to take a moment and explain to people the role that you play in helping to, I guess in one way I'd say police, what's happening out there, and also understand that while we are advocates with our product out to the world, he is an advocate for all of you in making sure that you have something here over the long term.
Even though it may not seem like it, if some of you have been contacted by me. I actually had somebody in the lobby say, "You're not as mean as I thought you would be." Where did that come from, really? Actually, it's not just me. Before I go any further, my right-hand woe man, Ashley, she's been a godsend, so she's been out there helping me police the internet. And some of the, we come across several different sites, blog sites, social media forums, and you, for the most part, here understand compliance, what you can and cannot say. And as you come into the business, it is your responsibility as a consultant to educate those people that come in, to let them know, look, this product is amazing, and you can basically say, look, take this product, call me in 30 days. If it doesn't work for you, I'm gonna get your money back. But you won't call me in 30 days, you'll call me in 2 weeks asking me to buy more. That's how amazing this product is, and if it wasn't that amazing, we wouldn't have this many people here. But for example, some of the things that we do see, and we had one incident over the past week. We had a consultant who felt that because she was not living in the United States, that she could say whatever she wanted to, and she said whatever she wanted to. Laminine, just in case you guys don't know, according to this website, cures cancer, cures diabetes, cures.
I'll get that on record, Javier.
Cures everything. So when we contacted her, she said, I don't live in the United States. I don't need to abide by the FDA, FTC guidelines. I can say whatever I want to. And your company is going to get red flagged for it. So instead of being combative, I said, look, you need to understand it doesn't matter where you live. The company is founded and it's based here in the United States. We've got thousands of consultants in the United States who, if you don't comply, you're going to affect their paychecks and mine. And I don't know about you. I like getting paid. You guys like getting paid too, right? So we obviously made some progress with that, and eventually she came around, thank God. But that's just some of the things, we have to be careful what we can and cannot say, and we've changed policy. We've made some additions to that, so it's outlined there, so you guys can know exactly what you can and cannot say.
Great. Well, compliance is a continuing journey. We're trying to understand all the fine elements of that, and that's where we're going to be talking a little bit later this afternoon about compliance and understand that we do have some things coming that are going to help us stay within those lines. And so, Dr. Petrosino, having had the experience on the other side of the equation, not trying to protect the company, the field, but just what's happening out in terms of what you see in the nutritional industry. I mean, these are lines that get crossed all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
So how do we best stay within the lines in our effort to be responsible advocates?
Okay, as I mentioned before, you always have to use the disclaimer, this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, mitigate, or cure any disease. So as long as you say that, but at the same time, you cannot say Laminine cures cancer, and then this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure. So you can say that Laminine assists the body in X, Y, and Z, because the body heals itself when it's given the proper tools. So the best way to circle around that is Laminine assists the body. You don't want to say Laminine assists the body in curing cancer, but as long as you remove the word cure or treat and then a given disease from it. Now, autoimmune conditions, if you say rheumatoid arthritis, because I know folks that have had great benefit from their rheumatoid arthritis while they're on Laminine. But I can't put on the website, Laminine has been known to treat and mitigate rheumatoid arthritis, because that's a disease treatment claim. And the way that you can, if you ever want something interesting, you can go to the FDA's website, it's fda.gov, and then you can actually put the names in of different companies that sell nutritional supplements, or even network marketing companies. And you can find that there are letters, they're called FDA action letters, that go out, and they go out to principals in these companies when somebody does something that's untoward on the internet. Now, if it's not seen as an action within the company, in other words, if the FDA finds 20 websites from a given company that are all claiming the product cures cancer, then they're going to go after the company. If the FDA sees a letter from one person that says they're going to treat or cure a disease, that first letter usually goes to that individual with probably a copy to the company. So and you can actually, it's interesting reading if you're, at least for me it's interesting reading, but you can actually go on there and see these letters, and it's like they're cease and desist letters, because the FDA has power. I was associated with a company that had a pretty decent product. This was a number of years back, and I won't mention the product's name or the company, but it was a seaweed product, and it was an extract from seaweed, and it had some pretty good anti-inflammatory effects. And the president of the company actually found some research that showed that the product caused apoptosis of cancer cells in a petri dish. Now, apoptosis means that it's pre-programmed cell death, so it just caused those cancer cells to die in the petri dish. Now, that's not a human being, and that's not treating cancer. Well, this individual put on the company's website that the product causes cancer cells to pop. I called him up, and I said, you better get that off of your website. This is the company website. And first of all, apoptosis isn't popping. It's, you got it wrong there, too. But, and they were cells in a petri dish. So in other words, you're implying this drug is effective in treating cancer. And I said, you will hear from the FDA. And he said, well, we have the science to back it. Well, after a while, you couldn't get that product anymore. It was not available. And I went to the FDA's website and saw a picture of a giant earth mover that was heaping dirt on top of $2.3 million worth of the company's product. So the FDA does have a sting, and if you ignore them, they can go and they can seize all the company's product, and they can bury it in a landfill somewhere with impunity. So we don't want that to happen to our product.
Good reason to pay attention.
Yeah, so pay attention and don't make any claims.
Okay. So. Well, at the risk of getting the hook, I want to ask one last question, and just a 15-second soundbite for each one of you. And that, not possible for Steve, so I will come over and hold the mic in front of Steve. But in a 15-second soundbite, each one of you in your own specialty and as practitioners and people of science, you obviously got stirred up when you heard about Laminine or you tried Laminine. What would be a 15-second thing that you could just share with the people out here today that got your attention? Because I think a lot of people, and I'm speaking from people in the field's perspective, going, gosh, I would love to talk to my doctor. If we're going to change the world, we have to affect the current medical model. We have to help with that transition. I think we all are catalysts for that. So what would be a 15-second thing that Dr. Norwood would get your attention? And then let's go on down the line here.
All right, I relate to patients. And so when I first heard about Laminine, I immediately thought of some people that I thought would respond to it. And so I called them and I said, this is something I want you to try. And very dramatic, some within days, had dramatic results from the products.
What got you to be willing to try it or to look at it?
The science.
I want to know what the person said to you, the doctor, the practitioner.
The science behind it. I've seen so many of these things, and I said I want to see some studies showing double-blind, placebo-controlled studies that this product actually works, and we have them going back 10 years. And I've looked at all these, read them. Some of the studies aren't worth very much. They actually say there's no statistical significance. But that's a good study, and it actually shows that they got a negative result.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Well, I think I kind of already had the science because I'd studied serotonin for so many years with Dr. Robert L. Pollack. So, you know, what got my attention about it was the word pain. In nutraceuticals, we have not had anything effective against pain with the exception of large doses of L-tryptophan, which in high doses can be risky. And so when I saw we had a whole food amino acid supplement that was clinically proven to elevate serotonin levels, that's what piqued my interest. My son was in a near-fatal car wreck 3 years ago, and so for over 3 years, he's been dependent on oxycodone and then sleep medications and anxiety medications for the side effect of controlling his pain. And it's not, I mean control, it's not gone. You don't understand. It's not like he's out there swinging from tree to tree. It's still bad, but he can function. And so for me, it was about finally having a natural form of serotonin builder that could help regulate his pain and all of my other clinical clients, because it's something that we deal with on a daily basis.
Okay. 15 seconds, Steve, if you can.
You're what? Say first I forgot, now he forgot.
None of us have abided by the 15 seconds yet, so
You have
I'll
to.
stand up because I can talk faster. So anyhow, for me, and my time's already up down there, and I haven't even started yet, but for me, what I think, I didn't try it first before I was recommending it to people because I travel a lot, and my primary occupation, I'm a field-based scientist, and I cover like a multi-state area. And it was probably 3 weeks before I even had a chance to get back home to try the product that I'd ordered. But in the meantime, just like these folks here, I read the science, and for me the science was good. I said, don't tell me about the testimonials, you'll send me the science, I'll look at the science. If the science is good, that's all I need. When you have a 30-patient study that hits statistical significance, that means it's a pretty profound effect. Because sometimes in the pharmaceutical world, you need a 2, 5, 10,000 patient study to show statistical significance. When you can have stat sig at 30 patients, that gets your attention. And nutritional supplement studies are typically small. So anyhow, I read the studies, and then I started recommending it to people before I even had tried it. And people say, well, I want to try it first to see how it works. Well, for me, it's like, well, the science is there. I know the science is there. These are reputable journals. It's good data. It's going to work. So, but at any rate, 3 weeks later, I got on the product myself because I finally got home, took it. I was driving down the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and I remember prior to that, maybe a month before, I had said to my wife, Lynn, I know I'm out of time. I'm going to be very quick here. I remember saying to her, do you recall that things were sharper and clearer when you were younger, and as you get old, because I'm over 60, the things are not quite as clear? And she said, yeah, to some extent. But as I was driving down the Pennsylvania Turnpike, it was like a curtain went up, and everything got clear, and so it scared me so much I pulled over into a rest stop and examined my eyes. But that was what first happened to me. And that was 3 days on the product. That wasn't too bad.
No, that was great, Steve. That was great. Great. Well, I want to thank all the doctors and the professionals here that have shared their time and energy with us. Really appreciate it, Dr. Norwood, Rena Davis, Dr. Petrosino. Thank you, Javier. I'm looking forward to this afternoon. Let me turn this back over to you, Dr. Kim.
Thanks, Dr.